This villain just committed 17 war crimes in a row, and some of you are sitting there nodding your head like, yeah, he's got a point. He just destroyed an entire city, but you're still rooting for him. These villains are built different, not like Sukuna or Joker that are just evil for the love of the game. These villains are the ones that give you a pep talk or a TED talk mid-fight. They're the ones that do some outrageous shit, but somehow you still catch yourself thinking, broski might actually be cooking. But these villains don't just hate the world, they think it's broken and need fixing. Were their methods completely crazy? Absolutely, but did they have a point? 100%. So today we're going to be taking a look or breaking down anime villains who were right all along. Let's dive into it. Let's start with my personal GOAT, Meruem, the real king of the ants, not the fake one who got packed up in 2 episodes. This man was born fully grown, already in his villain act, no childhood, no tutorials, straight to the final boss mode. Meruem entered the world with the energy of someone who just received turbo customer service. He saw humans as nothing but walking steak, cold-blooded, no seasoning. This man was eating humans raw like a protein bar. Man also had a photographic memory like Mike Ross,
true beauty is ageless,
built like prime Cristiano Ronaldo, and the aura of Song Jin-woo and Piccolo combined together. Bro memorized every board game on earth and started beating all the world champions like it was a speed run until he met his match, Komugi, a blind girl. The blind girl who sat across from the most dangerous creature on the planet and absolutely cooked him in Gonji over and over and over and over again. No stress, no panic, just straight pure skill. She had a no-look place, the Joga Bonito, the sauce, the perfect timing. She was basically the Ronaldinho of board games, untouchable. But instead of crashing out like ISO speed after losing and losing and losing again, he humbled himself. He started learning more about humans. He went from humans is equal to dinner to actually understanding humanity, the beauty, the flaws, the suffering, the inequality, and started asking real questions like,
chicks with dicks?
And bro was ready to fix the inequality in the world after barely understanding humans. This is why he's my GOAT. This is why he should be your GOAT, because these leaders ain't doing shit. His solution was kind of insane because he wanted to erase everyone, but the fact that he barely knew anything about humans and was able to understand the struggles of humanity that quick and was trying to do something about it takes him from a villain to being a good guy in my books. The next on the list is Nagato, aka Pain. Pain was also right. Pain has more body count than Bonnie Blue, but hear me out. Pain wasn't completely wrong. Pain grew up in a world where peace lasted shorter than Kaisenet. Peace wasn't raw. It was basically a bedtime story that parents told their kids between walls. Shinobi villages were out here attacking each other for no reason, no diplomacy, no negotiation, just straight violence. Everyone moving like Kim Von with switches. This affected Nagato. He lost everything in that chaos. His parents, his best friend, his faith in humanity. And so, what does he do? He becomes Pain, and he comes back with one of the most insane but weirdly logical peace plans ever. His whole plan was simple. If everyone experienced true pain and real devastating suffering, nobody will ever want to go to war again. Equal rights, equal hands, equal trauma. And then he pulled up to the Hidden Leaf village, which is considered the strongest ninja village, by himself and destroyed the entire village in under 5 minutes. This was like Prime Messi running at you. It didn't matter how many defenders you had there, he was getting through regardless. Nagato's logic wasn't completely crazy. The war leaders just be doing anything or whatever the freak they want. Countries still recruit child soldiers, and these kids grow up on war zones. The same cycle of violence continued. Tail-based are being placed in kids, traumatizing them. Even just take a look at what Itachi had to do at a very young age. Nagato wasn't fully wrong. He just wanted to end the cycle of violence. His method wasn't ideal, but he wanted change. Nagato is basically what happens if Naruto never met Iruka. He's like Naruto's dark reflection. The next villain is Lelouch. He's probably the smartest one on this list and also probably the only one who was able to execute his plan very well. If you haven't seen Code Geass, close this video right now and go fix that out. Lelouch v Britannia was operating on a completely different level than everyone else around him. He had the brains, the drip, the eyeliner so sharp it could cut glass. This man wasn't playing chess, he was the chessboard. He was 10 moves ahead of everyone, and everyone else was still reading the instructions. And from day one, Lelouch wasn't fighting for power or clout. He was fighting for peace and to completely blow up a system built on bloodlines and race. Because Britannia pulled up to Japan, took over the whole country and renamed it Area 11 and started treating an entire civilization like background characters in their own story. Me personally, I wouldn't even be happy about that, because how would you take my entire country and give it a number? But the Britannians were moving crazy. They colonized everyone because good, and no one could do anything about it. Lelouch wasn't gonna sit around and let that happen, so he put on the max and became Zero and played both sides for years. And then his final plan was to make himself into the most hated man alive, to embody every evil thing in the world, to make himself the villain completely, so that when he died, the world would unite in a shared hatred of him, and then finally have peace. He sacrificed his name, his legacy, and any chance of being remembered as a hero. He didn't just die for the world, he let the world hate him so they can basically have something to agree on. That's not a villain, that's the most unhinged act of self-sacrifice in anime history, and it worked. Lelouch is the only character whose death was devastating. Even though he spent the whole show committing all types of war crimes, he was still right at the end of the day because he ended up solving a big problem in that world. He's that guy. The next villain on this list is Stain. Stain might not have a name of the others on this list, but hear me out. This man was simply fed up. He was fed up with all the fake heroes that were acting like influencers, guys who paused mid-rescue to check their ring light angle, heroes who merged drops before they can save anyone, walking brand deals in capes, almost identical to the NBA, no shade. According to Stain, most of these heroes were just cloud chasers with superpowers. And he wasn't wrong. In the world of My Hero Academia, half of the pros are more concerned with their ranking, their sponsorship, and their PR team than anything else. They don't want to protect anyone, they just want to look good. They treat their job like the same way some athletes in the NBA treat their sport. Stain is that one passionate fan in the nosebleed section who loves the club more than any person else. The guy who actually gets upset when his team loses while the players are already at the after party. He's the Gordon Ramsay in the world full of microwave chefs. Brutally honest, insane, and not afraid to cut you into pieces if he doesn't like you. The wild part is that his message hit so hard that both the heroes and the villains restructured themselves because of him. This man went to jail and still changed the entire system from inside a prison cell, and that is great influence. So even though he was doing some crazy shit, he actually led to a big change in the hero society. The last guy on this list has to be Eren Yeager. I know some of you might say it's controversial and whatnot, but look, was killing everyone a great response?
Absolutely fucking not.
But Eren was a kid who grew up trapped behind walls, dreaming of freedom, only to find out the outside world already wanted his people gone. Not because of anything they did, just because of their bloodline. Now you gotta know that this is something crazy. Just hating someone just because of their bloodline is insane. The Malians was using audience as living weapons, treating them as subhuman, and every peace attempt got laughed out of the room. The Malians didn't want to compromise, they just wanted to eliminate the audience completely. Eren looked at the situation and thought, okay, so there's only two choices here. Option 1, do nothing, watch my people get wiped out while someone else steals the founding titan. Option 2, become the final boss of all of human history, and he chose option 2. Was it too far? Yes. Did everyone else have a better plan? No. Zeke's plan was literally to kill all the audience, which is somehow way worse, and other countries were already developing the technology to be able to take down a titan easily. So basically the time was running out for titans to be used. The Malians were going to do everything to get rid of the audience for no reason. The difference between Eren and a standard villain is that Eren wasn't enjoying it. He wasn't doing it because he wanted to be evil. He wasn't doing it for the power. He already knew how it was going to end. He already seen how it would end, and he still walked into it anyways because he thought that was the best way to help his people. And that's not evil. That's just the situation that he had. Before I wrap this up, we've got a couple honorable mentions. First up is Madara Uchiha. Madara's master plan, Infinite Tokuyomi, put the entire world into an eternal dream where there is no war, no suffering, no hate, just your personal ideal life forever. Basically The Sims. Now yes, he forced it on everyone without consent. That's definitely a problem, but let's be honest for a second. In a world with taxes, climate change, rent, student loans, gas prices, that looks like they were actually set up by the villains themselves. Wouldn't you want to have a beautiful dream? Honestly, that's what I would choose. This man was basically offering free therapy for the entire planet, no copay, you don't have to think about any insurance. It wasn't that bad of a plan, but anyways, he was doing it without anybody's consent, so that's probably where the problem was. Then we have Light Yagami. Light Yagami found a magic notebook that kills everyone. Immediately said, okay, I'm gonna fix the society, and for a while it actually worked. Crime rate dropped, people were scared to commit crimes, society genuinely felt safer. Now imagine if all the corrupt politicians, warlord, criminal mastermind just disappeared overnight. That's not completely crazy, but the problem was that Light started getting obsessed with the power. He started killing anyone that got in his way instead of doing the right thing. So that's where he actually got it wrong. But apart from that, if he stuck to the beginning, the same ideals of just killing the bad guys, that would have been a great way to use that power. Every villain on this list looked at the world and saw something genuinely broken and decided to act on it. Were the methods crazy or unhinged? Completely. Were the goals low-key reasonable? Also completely yes. Eren wanted to save his people. Pain wanted to end the cycle of war. Stain wanted heroes to be heroes. Meruem wanted the world without inequality. Madara wanted peace at any cost. Light wanted the world without crime. Lelouch wanted to save everyone, including the people who hated him. The line between a hero and a villain sometimes isn't that clear. Sometimes it's just a single bad day, a single loss, a single moment where the world took something from someone and they never recovered. Sometimes the line is actually shorter than KSI's forehead. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below, which villain do you think was actually right and which one do you think can't be justified regardless. Anyways, if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. More videos like this are on the way. Thank you for staying till this time and have a wonderful day. Au revoir.